Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. Last video you saw me up north riding this over the weekend and I had major problems with howling brakes and my fender was getting clogged up with mud. We got a little bit of rain and then all of the pesky little gremlins started showing up. Don't get the gremlins wet, they multiply. The fender problem, you can see it's demonstrated pretty well here. But you see how much tighter it is here than it is back here. Well, all the mud is coming up in here and then piling up, and then it would pick up more dirt and blah, blah, blah. And I was just grinding through the mud. Same thing was sort of happening in the front. It wasn't so bad. You know, the minute you get on some pavement, or if I could get up on like the dry, wet gravel, it would clear out, but it's still unacceptable. So I have to figure out a way to bring this fender up a little bit on this bike. The other option is just to take the fenders off. This bike looks really good with the fenders off. You know, I really like this bike for that single day 65 to 100 mile gravel bike adventure kind of thing. There's a lot of gravel bikers out there that aren't using fenders. Do you really need fenders for a one-day trip? You know, so what if you get wet? Really, just you get back to the van and change your clothes. Then again, these are really nice fenders and they're perfect for this bike. So I guess we try it, and if it doesn't work, then we take the fenders off and move on with life. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And then it is raining outside, so I can try towing these brakes, maybe filing the brake surface. I don't know, we'll try to get rid of the squeaky brakes. I think it's gonna be a challenge. We shall see. Other than that, the bike worked great. You kick back and relax while I get started. So this right here is the attachment point that we're concerned with. What I'm thinking is, if I make this hole big enough where this boss, you know, I want to basically fill this gap. So make it so the fender fits flush with the brake bridge here. And just bring it up that, I don't know, what is that, a 1/4 inch? Maybe I can put a little bit of invisible tape on either side to kind of keep it from rattling. And then just cinch it up real tight with a washer and a flat button screw underneath. So that's the first thing I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna try to do all that without completely removing the fender, but we gotta remove some of it. So that releases the brake, like yow. So I feel like I should be removing this bolt to be able to kind of loosen the fender a little bit more, but that one's a really tricky one to get back in and I just don't feel like messing with it. So I'm gonna try to do without, but we might come back to that one. All right, well, we can see here the problem we were having. So it was kind of getting caught on the bolt. That was like the catalyst. And picking up the mud. Ugh. Okay, so there's a leather washer back here. I'm going to kind of hold it. Hey, that actually worked. that out of there. All right. I feel like I gotta move the hole down there. Struggling to get the hole to line up. Everything moved just a little bit. I gotta get this one to move. I don't know. I was trying to avoid getting this one out of here. I just remember struggling with this in the install. Oh, that's enough. Okay. Okay. So I was able to just loosen it enough down here that then I can just barely get that good there. Okay. That does buy me like a 1/4 inch. Well, there you see the finished product. You know, this is way skinnier in here. That looks pretty good. Of course, I added a washer underneath, so that bolt is still gonna pick up dirt. We'll see how it looks with the tire on. Well, and Johnny from Johnny Cycles says, you know, he builds in an inch of clearance with fenders and the desired tire size for the bike, you know, when he puts in his brake bridges. You know, the real fix is you move that brake bridge up, but I don't know how to do that. So the only other thing I can think of is to cut the fender so it fits up even higher, and then figure out a way to fasten it like with a couple of holes and zip ties or something. But on this bike, it just seems too chintzy to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, to get these fenders to work with these tires, it would mean like cutting a hole to make room for the brake bridge inside that fender, and then like a hole there and a hole there on either side, and then zip tying it. I mean, you could do it and it wouldn't look terrible with like clear zip ties. I don't know. Should we just take them off? Okay, so there's not a whole lot of difference between this bike and my very fancy orange Rivendell Rambouillet. I'm looking at it, I got it hanging up over there. It's got the same drivetrain on it. That's a 700C by 35 tire. These are 26 inch by 2.5, so it's much plumper. This is definitely more gravel. That's more like endurance road. I have a lot of overlap. This one's very similar to my Waterford Brevet bike, which has fenders and it's 700 by 38, still plump. It's gravelable. It would have been able to handle everything that we did on that other trip. This one is a little bit more fun, but I probably wouldn't have because I don't want to get it all muddy and full of sand. That one's more of a road bike. But this, I think I'm gonna take the fenders off and just make it like the dry weather gravel bike day tripper that I want it to be. It doesn't need fenders because I have those other bikes for inclement weather. We got surprised with a little bit of rain the other day. Nobody thought it was gonna rain. I mean, my raincoat was an afterthought, last minute thing. Frankly, it's like, so what? So I would have gotten muddy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a bigger deal on bike tour. You don't want to get mud all over everything. You want to keep things dry. You want to protect your drivetrain because you're in the middle of nowhere away from bike shops, blah, blah, blah. If you remember, I made a whole series of videos. I built an exact replica of this bike, geometry-wise, with oversized tubing. I'm currently in the process of rebuilding the rear triangle. In fact, that was like, do I make this video or that video this morning? So that's happening right now. And that one's gonna have fenders and everything, and it's the same bike, same geometry. So these fenders are coming off. There, I said it, I made the decision. It's super lightweight, all this XTR fancy stuff. These fenders are just kind of big and ugly and I hate them. So off they come. Put them in the for sale pile. Okay, here we go. Let's take them off. Put on a little bit of clear Gorilla Tape to kind of protect the frame here. Sort of works. You kind of end up just rubbing a hole through it, but it does keep things a little quieter. Maybe a couple layers would have been more appropriate. Anyway, there's nothing like a little goof off to get rid of adhesive. I'm told lighter fluid works really good too. I have some stuff for regripping golf clubs and it smells just like lighter fluid. I could just get a clip-on rear fender mud flap type thing too for this bike. Gonna put a little behold on this rag and knock off some of the water spots from hosing it down the other day. Squirt a little lube on that chain. It's got some surface rust on it. It's always a good idea if you're riding the rain and mud to clean things off as soon as you can. I don't know, I kind of slacked. This is day 3 or something like that. I rinsed it off pretty quickly after I got home, but especially with a steel bike, a lovely, lovely steel bike. I really do think this bike looks a little nicer without the fenders. Looks faster. More inspired for a spirited ride through the woods than a slow meandering whatever. Okay, so squeaky brakes. I mean, this doesn't really matter much at this point, I don't think, but it can't hurt. I'll just kind of knock off the high spots. I think really what needs to be done is towing them. So loosen up the nut, and then we're going to get the front of the pad to hit the rim first. So you can put a wrench in here. There we go. So that's quite a bit of tow. Now, my problem with towing brakes is eventually that pad's going to wear down flat anyway. I guess then you just re-tow it. Okay. And I think towing brakes gives you more modulation, which is good, apparently. Okay, that looks really good on that side. Not a lot of room back here to show you this side, but I'm just going to do the same thing. So my problem is you lose the snappy sound. They just kind of feel squishy now. Maybe give you a little bit more of a bird's eye view from up here in the front. See if you loosen them. So that would be reverse tow. So that's a pretty extreme tow there. Okay, that's back where it was. And then the other thing is all these washers and everything kind of form a groove. So there is a happy home of where it likes to live. So it can make these little micro adjustments really difficult. Oh. Okay, that was way too much again. Is that in between? Man, it's just either all the way on or all the way off. This is why I don't like towing brakes, to be honest. Like, it's just really never super straightforward. And I like things to be straightforward. To be honest, I don't like these brakes a whole lot. These XTR calipers, cantilevers, sorry. But they match. And looking good is half the battle. Actually, it's probably like three-fourths the battle. It's 90% the battle. All right, so that's Everything's towed, nothing too extreme. Got a brake tension situation over here. I'll go get my 2mm Allen key. Loosen things a bit. I probably should put my Paul brakes back on here. If I didn't sell them, might have sold them. They don't feel that bad, but they don't feel that good either. It's fine. Oh, dropped my wrench. Did you even see any of that? I bumped it. Bumped the camera. Here we go. Well, it's a terribly rainy day. Oh, they're not squeaking though. I mean, we might have fixed it. Got lucky. I think it's good. I want to get the rims wetter. Simulation, simulation, simulation. What do you think? Are we living in a simulation? Probably. Well, not squeaking. Not stopping real good either. It's a trade-off. Looking good and sounding good. That's what's most important. Well, hey, we're gonna call it a win. We're gonna call it fixed. Just gonna kind of wash things off here a little bit. Well, I mean, what do you think? Should I have left the fenders on? Should I have tried some other things? Does it look better with them off? I think that if it was my only bike, I'd work harder to keep the fenders on, but it's not. I have others, there's plenty of overlap, I can figure it out. Worst case scenario is we get a little something to strap onto the seat post and kick off the back, and you can even do something down here, but I don't really care. At the end of the day, this bike should be ridden hard and put away wet. I know it's really fancy for that kind of thing, but it's okay to get out and get a little muddy and get all around goofy with it. So thank you so much for watching to the end. That's really the most gratifying part of this whole thing, is knowing you guys watch these videos. You know, there's something you can do. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Let's click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would be much appreciated. If you got a little extra to give, clicking that super thanks button right here. You'll see it. It's the heart with the $sign in the middle of it. We call it taco money around here. You know, 10 bucks, that gets me 2 tacos. 15 is a whole set. It's a trio of tacos campechanos from El Mariachi, just a block away, right over there. It's the best food in town. I love it, and I would greatly appreciate your help. If you're really into it, you can join the channel as a monthly sustaining member. You know, it could just be a couple bucks a month, or, you know, 20, 30 bucks a month, whatever you got. The other day I went through my phone and like unsubscribed to a bunch of things I had signed up for that I haven't used in a year. Saved like 50 bucks a month. You know, go do that and then give it to me. Yeah. But for yourself, be sure you click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.